What's up, people? Welcome back to Daily Red Devil for all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk. And it's match day. It's the first game of the season. We play Wolves tonight, 8 p.m. UK time kickoff. We will be doing a watch along for that one, so do make sure you're around. We'll be live from about 7:30, but of course we have a massive show for you guys to get into this morning, so please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel if you are new, and let's jump straight on into it. So on the show this morning, we've got loads and loads to discuss. We're going to be talking a bit about Benjamin Pavard and about an agreement in principle. We're also going to be talking a little bit about Anthony Martial. We've got a bit of an update around exit talks that are supposedly going to take place this week. We've also got some news on Harry Maguire, which you're going to see so much noise, let's say, about Harry Maguire today, and we're going to try and decipher all of that for you. So yeah, don't worry about the Maguire situation. We will get into that in a minute. We're also going to be talking a little bit about Dean Henderson. We've got an update there. Scott McTominay, Donny Beek, Fernandez. But before we do all that, I just want to say it is 2 years to the day since we signed a certain Real Madrid centre-back, Mr. Rafael Varane, Mr. Champions League himself, the Rolls-Royce of our defence. 2 years ago, on this day, we signed Rafael Varane. So, yeah, I couldn't be happier with that signing. I know he's had a few injury problems and all the rest of it, but Rafael Varane is an absolutely class player, isn't he? So, yeah, 2 years today, Manchester United bought him for £34 million. I was actually at the game where they unveiled him against Leeds United. So, yeah, massive shouts to Varane. I absolutely love the guy. So, yeah, really good. Right, let's crack on with the show, though. Okay, let's start things off with... Let's start off with Harry Maguire, because I know a lot of you are really concerned about this one. So what's going to cause the concern is Erik ten Hag has been speaking to the press ahead of the game against Wolves tonight. And he says, so this is Erik ten Hag talking about Maguire directly. He says, for Harry Maguire, he has to fight for his place. He has the ability to be a top-class centre-back. He is the best at England, so why shouldn't he be the best for us? But he has to prove it. Okay, so he says that. Then he goes on to say, he says, Erik ten Hag... So these are all direct quotes from Erik ten Hag. He says, when he is not confident enough to go with that fight for his place, then he has to go. He has to make that decision. But I am happy with him. We don't have a squad with 11 players. So that's the key one here. That's the one that you need to just really home in on. All of the other ones that you see coming out today, all of the other people saying that Maguire's staying and all the rest of it, it's all just noise. We know what Erik ten Hag's like. We know how he deals with the press, okay? He said Ronaldo was staying. He said De Gea was staying. He said so many people are staying. He says one thing in the press, and you've got to really decipher what he's saying. You've got to really listen to it carefully. So let's just repeat that one more time, just to break it down. So he says, when he is not confident enough to go with the fight for his place, so talking about Maguire, he has to go. He has to make that decision. I mean, he's just said it there. He's telling him to go. He is. Because we all know that Harry Maguire isn't going to fight for his place. We know that he's not going to get Varane out of the team. We know he's not going to get Martinez out of the team. But he's putting all of the pressure on Harry Maguire instead of putting it on himself. So when he goes and people say, why did you get rid of Harry Maguire? He's the, you can already imagine what all the English press are going to say. As soon as Ten Hag gets rid of him, they're going to say, why did you get rid of Maguire? He was treated unfairly. He starts for England. Why did he not start for you? Blah, blah, blah. And he can just turn around and say, well, I said to Harry Maguire, he's welcome to stay and fight for his place. But he didn't have the confidence to do it. He didn't have the mentality, or he didn't have the personality to do it, so he decided it was best for him to leave. Do you see what I mean? So Erik ten Hag's been very clever here, and I really like how he's done this. It's way better than coming out saying, yeah, we've agreed a deal with West Ham, we're just waiting to get the deal done, blah, blah, blah. He's putting all of the pressure onto Harry Maguire, and I think it's very clever, I really do. You see people like, what's he called, Jurgen Klopp coming out the other day saying that they'd agreed a deal with Caicedo. A day later, the deal falls through. You know what I mean? Erik ten Hag's done it in a very different way here. He's put all of the pressure onto Harry Maguire. All of the emphasis is on him. He's leaving because he's not willing to fight for his place. He's not leaving because Erik ten Hag's thrown him out, even though we know that is really the reason, isn't it? I think Erik ten Hag is a fair manager. I do. I think if Harry Maguire was good enough to fight for his place, and he was good enough to get Rafael Varane out of the team, or Lisandro Martinez, I think he would keep him. I don't think he has favourites. I think he just plays the best players. I genuinely believe that. And if you look at our team, he does play the best players every game, I think. So yeah, I think we're going to see so many people today getting really emotional about this one, saying he's staying 100% and all the rest of it. But I just think it's all just excitement over nothing. And the main update that we have is that apparently The severance package, so the amount of money he'll be paid to leave the club, has now been agreed. The replacement needs to be sorted. That's the key bit of information here that you need to remind yourselves when you're getting kind of worked up about this. Manchester United have said from the beginning, Fabrizio put this out himself, that they won't sell Harry Maguire until they have a replacement. Okay? And we don't have the replacement yet. That's the key thing here. So the deal will happen once we have our replacement. And it looks like the replacement will be Benjamin Pavard, who we will talk about in a minute. So this week's the big week for it. It was always going to take time. It was always going to take time. It wasn't going to be a deal that happened overnight because he is classed as a first team player. You know, he's in and amongst that first team squad. And we know that they want a replacement in first. So I hope that puts everyone's nerves at ease a little bit. Sky Sports reported yesterday that the deal, you know, is as good as done. The personal terms have been agreed. The fee's been agreed. He just needs to do a medical. That was what Sky Sports had said yesterday. So the only thing that's holding up this deal is Manchester United finding a suitable replacement, Benjamin Pavard, Jean-Claire Todibo, agreeing a deal with their club, and then they'll push the button on both of those deals. So yeah, whenever you see people talking about these quotes later on, I'm sure there'll be lots of people saying, Maguire's staying. Like, I could have done a really, really clickbaity headline today. I could have said, Harry Maguire is staying at Manchester United. And I'm sure it would have got tens of thousands of views. But I just think it's irresponsible. I really do. And I hope you guys appreciate that because obviously I'm a Manchester United fan as well. And I've been sucked into so many things like that before. And you get really worked up about it. You get really worried. And you know that on this channel, we want to be positive. We don't want to be toxic. We want to try and give you the honest opinion on information. And not kind of spin it to cause hysteria and all the rest of it. But anyway, let's move on to something else. Let me know in the comment section what you think about that one. But the black and white of it is he's told Harry Maguire to go because he's clearly not good enough to fight for his place. When he is not confident enough to fight for his place, he has to go. He has to make that decision. There you go. He has to go. Anyway, right, let's move on to the next topic though. Let's keep things rolling on the show this morning. Okay, let's talk about Dean Henderson. Now, this one is somebody who will be staying. Erik Ten Hag has been talking about Dean Henderson, and he said, Dean Henderson was always on my mind. I think we have a strong keeper group of Onana, Tom Heaton, and Dean Henderson. So it looks like Dean Henderson will be staying. Obviously, he's injured at the moment for about 2 to 3 weeks. So the likelihood of him being able to leave the club anyway is very, very slim. Like, the window of opportunity for him to do a medical would have been a couple of days. And Manchester United are really worried that if he recovers, say 2 days before the transfer window, he's still injured at the moment, so he can't do a medical at Nottingham Forest. Say he's back to, you know, fitness 2 days before the transfer window ends. Imagine if he goes and does a medical at Nottingham Forest and the medical aggravates the injury. He hasn't played football for, I think, was it 4 or 5 months? He hasn't played football for a very long time. You know, he goes to Nottingham Forest, does a really, really tough medical 2 days after recovering from injury that he's been out for 4 months. There is the chance that he will then get injured again. So it looks like Dean Henderson will be staying at Manchester United, which I don't have a massive issue with. Like, obviously, I don't want him here past this season, but if it's just till January, if it's just as a backup option, I'm not going to throw my toys out of the pram because I understand the extent of the situation. You know, you can't sell an injured player, and risking an injured player just because we're like, get him out of my club. I just think it's a little bit dramatic and a little bit maybe unnecessary. So I can understand why Erik Ten Hag is keeping him. He's keeping him as a backup option. Obviously, Tom Heaton's injured. They've just sold Matis Kovar. And apparently the other goalkeeper, Vitek, I think his name is. I mean, we're literally scraping the barrel here. Radek Vitek, some goalkeeper from the under-21s. Apparently he's injured as well. So out of our goalkeepers, Onana's fit, Tom Heaton's injured, Dean Henderson's injured, and Radek Vitek's injured. So all 3 of our goalkeepers are injured. So I have no idea who's going to be. And we sold Nathan Bishop. We sold Matis Kovar. So we literally, out of what we had 6 goalkeepers at the beginning of the window, 2 of them have left, 3 of them are injured, and the only fit one is Onana. So I'm not sure who's going to be on the bench tonight. But yeah, it looks like Dean Henderson will be staying at least until January. You know, if we had a 50 million, 20 million, whatever offer on the table, I would say this is a disgrace, get him out of my club, all the rest of it. I would join that party. But sending him out on loan to Nottingham Forest, is that really a good deal for anybody? I don't think so. I think it's a rubbish deal. So I'm not bothered about that one. But do let me know in the comment section how you feel about that one. I understand that after that TalkSport interview, he lost a lot of faith and love from the fans, me included. But, you know, he's probably going to hardly play. It's just good to know that you do have a backup goalkeeper. But put it this way, would you rather keep Dean Henderson until January or go and sign the backup goalkeeper from Rangers that we're linked to, who's just been thrown out of the team by Jack Butland? I mean, is that really the levels we want to set at Manchester United? Going to get a backup goalkeeper from Rangers who Jack Butland's ahead of? Like, I'm not really up for that. I'm not. I'd rather spend the money somewhere else. So I understand that a lot of you in the chat are going to say he's disrespected the club, get him out of my time, get him out of my club, and all the rest of it. I get it, I do, but I think we just have to understand the situation. We've got an injury crisis in the goalkeeper situation. We have a goalkeeper who's going to be fit again in about a week or two's time, so we have to kind of keep him for now anyway. Right, let's keep things moving though. Do let me know in the comment section how you feel about all of these bits of news though, as I do like to see you guys' opinions and stories. We've got over 800 of you watching now, which is absolutely massive. Big ups to everybody in the chat. Please do smash a like on the video and please do subscribe to the channel if you are new. It really helps the community to grow, so do get involved if you haven't already. I'm going to drop a link in the chat to do that now. And then we will crack on with the rest of the show. Okay, let's talk about Benjamin Pavard then. We have got an update for you on him. So there's a story coming out from Plettigol, obviously Florian Plettenberg, very, very good German journalist who writes for Sport Bild. And he is reporting that apparently Benjamin Pavard has now got a verbal agreement in principle with Manchester United, and he is very keen to join. So that's good if you want him. And then we've also got a story from Sky Sports saying that Benjamin Pavard will fight as hard as possible for Manchester United move from Bayern Munich, but the clubs are apparently far apart in their valuations at the moment. So we had a bit of clarity actually on what the initial deal was. So obviously a bid was rejected on Saturday, which we brought to you yesterday, didn't we? We did a video about that yesterday. Apparently the bid, I've been trying to do a bit of digging because initially the bid price wasn't revealed as part of this story. Apparently it was somewhere around 20 million euros that Manchester United offered, which is about 17 million pounds. I think that's a fair price, I do. I think 20 million euros for somebody with 1 year left on their contract who's refusing to sign a new deal and wants to leave. I think that's a fair price. But apparently Bayern Munich want 30 million euros for the player. So there is a gap in valuation by about 10 million euros. I mean, what, do we settle on 25? 25 million euros is about 21 million pounds. I would probably take that at this point, I would. But yeah, let me know in the comment section how much you think would be a fair price for Benjamin Pavard. I honestly do feel the 20 million euros was a fair deal, but obviously whether I think it's fair or not is irrelevant. Obviously, Bayern Munich can say whatever price they want and Manchester United either pay it or they don't. So 25 million euros I think is the absolute tops amount of money we should be paying for Benjamin Pavard. About 20, 21 million pounds. And then it just makes the Harry Maguire deal feel a little bit sweeter, doesn't it? You know, you sell Harry Maguire for 30 million, you bring in a better replacement, younger, better replacement who's obviously got way more experience. He's won Champions Leagues, World Cups, and you're getting him for 10 million less than what you sold Maguire for. I mean, when you look at it like that, that's good. As soon as you get close to the 30, 35 millions, I think it gets a little bit questionable because obviously then you could go and get Jean-Claire Todibo. You could probably go and get maybe Antonio Silva from Benfica for 50 million euro. You know what I mean? When you start going into those higher brackets of money, I think maybe it's not as good a deal as maybe we think. And then we've got another story coming out this morning from Italian journalist Alfredo Padula saying that Benjamin Pavard is in first position in Manchester United's list ahead of Jean-Claire Todibo. So it does look like he will be the player that we sign. I don't know what to say about it, really. I think both of them are good players. I think Jean-Claire Todibo is obviously a younger profile. He has a much higher ceiling. But I do understand why Erik ten Hag wants Benjamin Pavard. You know, he's versatile. He can play right back, centre back. He's got a lot of experience. He's an international, whereas Jean-Claire Todibo is at the very, very beginning of his career. I think he'd need time to settle in, whereas Pavard could immediately come in and probably would get Wan-Bissaka and Dalot out of their positions immediately, wouldn't they? So, yeah, I don't know. Until it happens, I'm not really going to put my alliances in one side. I can understand the beauty of having both of the players. Right, but let's keep things moving. Right, let's talk about Scott McTominay. Now, this is quite a positive one. We did suggest this on the show a couple of days ago, but it was purely just a hunch that I had. So there's a story coming out this morning from a journalist in the UK saying that West Ham are set to push hard for the signing of Man United midfielder Scott McTominay if Lucas Paquetá completes a move to Manchester City. So it does look like Paquetá will go to Manchester City. Apparently, they're going to put in a bid of around £100 million for Lucas Paquetá. I'm not sure. I think if they do sell him for 100 million, we need to be getting the 45 million for Scott McTominay, you know? If they've got all of this money burning a hole in their pocket, West Ham, we need to be saying to them, we want 45, you know? They'd have raised over 250 million pounds this summer. So, yeah. So there is still hope in the Scott McTominay deal. And as this story says, if Lucas Paquetá comes, then Scott McTominay to West Ham does look like it will happen. The only potential stumbling block here for me is, do Manchester United have a replacement lined up? Now, we spoke about Tchouaméni on the show a couple of days ago. I think he would be an incredible signing and would be a great replacement for Scott McTominay. Whether or not that deal can happen, we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, there are a few other people who could fill that position. You know, there's people like Thuram from Nice. You know, there are people available in the market. It just depends whether Manchester United feel they have enough time left in the window to get a suitable replacement for Scott McTominay. Obviously, Manchester United work at snail pace, don't they? They seem to do deals so slow. So yeah, it all just depends whether Manchester United have got their gear and their act in gear, whatever the saying is. But yeah, hopefully this one happens. If they go for all three of our players, if they go for Harry Maguire, Scott McTominay and Martial, that would be absolutely incredible. It really would. But yeah, so we'll keep you updated on that one. In relation to Fred as well, just quickly, obviously Fred has completed his move to Fenerbahce now. That has been fully confirmed by both clubs, player, the rest of it. So we can now expect an offer for Amrabat to come in. I think it'll be this week, I do. If by the end of this week we don't have Amrabat, I will then start to get worried. You know I'm very positive on this channel. You know I don't like to fearmonger because I just don't see the point in doing stuff like that. I'm not deluded though. I do understand that there are other people interested in Amrabat. You know, Juventus are supposedly interested, Atletico Madrid. But he does want to come to Manchester United. And I think that this week is the most important week. If we haven't submitted a bid by the end of this week, then I think we can all start getting worried because you'll be thinking, what the hell is going on? They've sold Fred. They told us they needed to sell Fred. Why have they not put in this bid? So my expectation is the bid will go in the next couple of days, somewhere around £25 million. That's what's being reported. And I think it will get the deal done because Amrabat clearly wants to come to Manchester United. They've already agreed personal terms. It should be a relatively simple deal to do, you know. But yeah, so there's nothing massive to report on that one at the moment. It's just, as we know, we're waiting for this official bid to go in. Moving over to other midfielders, let's talk about Donny van de Beek really quickly. Another player who definitely needs to leave the club this summer and get first team football. There was a story coming out last night saying that apparently Ajax are weighing up a move for Donny van de Beek, but this has been what's the word, like debunked. Ultimately it's not true. Fabrizio Romano has come out and said that ultimately, you know, Donny van de Beek to Ajax is not going to happen. It's not something that's advanced. And if anything, he's going to move to Real Sociedad. Obviously, the Real Sociedad situation has gone very quiet. It looked like it was advancing quickly last week for Donny van de Beek, but for some reason, I don't know whether it's broken down. It's quite strange. It is. I do feel a little bit frustrated towards some of our outgoings. You know, Erik Bailly was set to join Besiktas last week, but that's gone really quiet. Donny was set to join Real Sociedad last week, but that's gone quiet. I don't really understand how these deals work, and I would love to get more insight on it, but obviously we're never going to get that because we don't work behind the scenes at Manchester United. So that's why channels like this are good. This is why communities like this are good, because we can kind of decipher the news. We can kind of try and work it all out together and, you know, form a bit of an opinion, because otherwise we're just left in the dark. No one knows what's going on. Everyone's getting frustrated. Everyone's getting angry that, you know, deals aren't happening and all the rest of it. So yeah, I think we've just got to wait and see what happens with that one. I just hope so. Yeah, this was the bit that came out from Fabrizio Romano yesterday on Donny. He says there are no concrete talks between Donny van de Beek and Ajax on club side, despite some reports. There are already negotiations ongoing with other clubs at this stage. So there you go. So Fabrizio has kind of put our minds at ease a bit at the moment, saying that there are more than one club currently negotiating with Manchester United at the moment for the signing of Donny van de Beek. He goes on to say that there is no agreement yet with Real Sociedad on the deal formula. So I think that's the issue here with the Donny one. I think a lot of the clubs want it to be a loan with an option to buy, not an obligation to buy. And I think Manchester United really want to actually get some money for him. I said this to you about a month ago. If we're going to loan Donny van de Beek out, I would rather keep him. I would genuinely rather sell Scott McTominay, keep Donny van de Beek, and invest that money in a striker. Do you guys agree with me? Let me know in the comment section. I see no point in sending Donny van de Beek out on loan. It's completely pointless. Donny van de Beek is a better player than Scott McTominay, in my opinion. Get the 45 million for Scott McTominay. Go and invest that in a striker. Go and get yourself Taremi, Kolo Muani, you know, Jonathan David. There are plenty of strikers available on the market. Even people like Mohamed Kudus. Spend that money there. It makes complete sense. But let me know what you think about that one in the comment section. Let me know. Let me know what you think we should do. I'm not in the massive get Donny out of my club kind of camp. I don't really agree with it. He's in his mid-20s. Yeah, somebody in the chat saying he's agreed a deal with another club. Yeah. As long as we can get Amrabat, I'm fine. I just don't understand how Manchester United think we're stupid enough to think, oh, well, if Donny goes, we'll get Amrabat. Like, if Donny goes on loan, then we're able to buy Amrabat. That doesn't make any sense because we won't get any money for loaning Donny. We'll still have to pay half his wages. Yeah, no loan for me. It has to be either full sale to Ajax or Sociedad or whoever it might be, or we keep him for one season, get rid of McTominay, invest that money in a striker. Happy days all round. We've got over 1,000 people watching now, which is amazing. Big ups to everybody joining us on this Monday morning show. Please do smash a like on the video and please do subscribe to the channel if you are new. We're on the road to 13k subscribers now. The community's been growing so fast. So if you are new here today, please do get involved. We go live every single day at 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. and we will be doing watch-alongs tonight as well. So if you're around for the game tonight, do get involved with that. Right, let's talk about Anthony Martial though. Let's move on to that. This is another player who definitely needs to leave the club in my opinion. I like Martial. I think he was a good player for us, but I just think with 1 year left on his deal, he's going to leave as a free agent next summer. He's obviously injury prone. He's barely played any football for Manchester United in the last couple of years. He definitely needs to go. So there's another story coming out this morning saying West Ham have just asked to be kept informed on Anthony Martial's situation. Okay. And then it goes on to say that Anthony Martial is set to hold talks with Manchester United over his future, with 3 clubs interested in signing the striker this month. So there clearly is interest in Anthony Martial. One of those is believed to be West Ham. I think there's a couple of clubs in Italy who are interested in him as well, and also a club in Turkey. So there are multiple clubs interested in Anthony Martial's signature. Obviously, Martial is growing concerned because Rasmus Højlund's come in. Martial's finally fit, finally able to play games. But now we've just got a new striker, and Martial's never really going to get much time over Rasmus, I don't think. I prefer Rashford as a striker over Martial. So the story goes as this. It says Anthony Martial is planning talks with Manchester United over his future following the arrival of Rasmus Højlund. There you go. The only thing here is it is also being reported that Manchester United would want to sign an adequate replacement if Anthony Martial goes. We did a whole video about this yesterday where my top 3 targets were Taremi from Porto, Mohamed Kudus from Ajax, and the kind of last one was João Felix. But once you actually broke down the finances involved with the Felix deal, it was definitely not worth it. So yeah, we will need to get a replacement. I know a lot of you think he doesn't do anything. He's injured. He just sits on the bench, but he is still part of that squad. He is a good player on his day. And now that he's fit, he is somebody that Erik ten Hag feels he can probably rely on to some capacity. And you know what? Let's just be positive. Let's just all take a minute here. Let's just stop all the, he's injured, get him out of my club stuff. We have a game of football tonight. Anthony Martial is fit and available to play. I highly doubt he'll start the game. But let's just send out some positivity and let's just hope that Anthony Martial comes onto the pitch in the second half, and let's hope he has a really good game and gets a goal. Because that will be amazing. So yeah, fingers crossed, Anthony Martial gets some minutes tonight. If he's not on the bench tonight, that will be the final straw for me. It will. He's back in full training. He's training with the squad. He's doing, he's on the grass. He's actually playing football matches in Carrington. If he's not in that team tonight, on the bench, I'm going to be in shock. So let's just hope, let's send out some positivity to him. Let's hope he has a good game tonight. And even if you're in the camp of get him out of my club, which I'm sure some of you are, if he scores a goal tonight, if he looks good, then that's only going to put his price up, isn't it? So it's win-win, really. Hopefully we have a good game tonight, and hopefully Martial absolutely destroys it. Just to say as well, I think we're going to absolutely batter Wolves tonight. I'm going 3-0. I want you guys to let me know in the comment section what your score prediction is for the game. What do you think? Who do you think is going to score as well? I'm going 3-0. I'm going goals from Garnacho, Rashford, and Bruno Fernandez. I think we're going to absolutely batter them. Yeah. I'm feeling really, really excited about this one. Somebody's saying, will Højlund be on the bench tonight? No, Højlund's injured, my friend. He's out to the Arsenal game, so we won't be seeing Højlund tonight. He'll probably be watching from the stands. He's not going to be on the bench. They're not going to risk that. We know what Erik ten Hag's like. Okay, let's move on to something else, though. Let's keep things moving. Right, so we've got a bit of an update on Alvaro Fernandez, who is, of course, the backup, third choice left back, I guess we'd call him. So it looks like Manchester United are looking to sell him this summer, which is a bit of a surprise to me, but obviously, it's up to them. So it says Manchester United want to sell Alvaro Fernandez this summer with interest from Germany. Preston wanted to sign him but cannot afford the asking price. Burnley also have other targets, leaving United talking to clubs in the Bundesliga. It goes on to say that Granada have also jumped into the race to sign Alvaro Fernandez. They may be more attractive to him than the idea of moving to Germany. United are willing to let him go for the right deal. So it looks like Manchester United are trying to move him on as a permanent deal. I'm not sure about that one. I'm not. We had some people in the chat the other day saying that they thought he was better than Malacia. and that he should be the one, you know, battling with Luke Shaw for the left back position. And you know what? I don't disagree with you. I do like Malacia, but I don't think he's world class. I think he's a good player, but I mean, unless you're going to get like £10 million for him, I would keep Alvaro Fernandez. I would. I thought he looked really, really good in pre-season. I think he's got a lot of potential. I think he's definitely somebody who can fight into the first team in the next couple of years, or at least, you know, be the backup to Luke Shaw. I'm still not fully sold on Malacia. I'm not. I don't know what it is about him. I don't want to slag off young players, but I'm just not convinced that he's going to become a first team player for me personally. I know he's only 23 years of age. I know he's still very, very young, but say Luke Shaw gets to the age where we need a new left back, I don't think Malacia is going to be that person for me at this moment in time. Maybe that can change over the next couple of years, but yeah, I wasn't that impressed with him. He just seemed quite average. Whereas Alvaro Fernandez, for somebody who has come through the youth academy, all the rest of it, I thought he looked good in all of the games I've seen him in. And I think he definitely has the potential to come through. He's only 20 years of age, so obviously he is quite young. But yeah, let me know what you think about that one in the comment section. Let me know what you think about the left back situation. Obviously, we still have Brandon Williams. He 100% has to go. That again has gone quite quiet around the Brandon Williams deal. It looks like Leeds are the only club interested at this moment in time. Whether or not they actually go for this deal or not, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, it's gone very, very quiet around the Brandon Williams leaving Manchester United situation. So not sure what to think about that one. Just going to have a sip of water. Right. Oh, gosh. Everybody's just joined in the last few minutes. Please do smash a like on the video and please do subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Right, where are we? Just want to take a minute as well. Anybody who's been living under a rock, Chelsea have just agreed a deal for £115 million for Moises Caicedo. I mean, what is going on? That is absolutely crazy, isn't it? It really, really is. And to think that we could have signed him for $4 million, I think it was a year ago, or 2 years ago when Brighton got him, absolutely ridiculous. And you know what? After seeing Chelsea do this, I know the players are different, but Mason Mount for 55, Onana for 43. I think we've actually done some quite good deals this summer. I do. I know Caicedo is very, very young, but he's not worth £115 million. They've almost spent what we've spent on 3 players on 1 player. Absolutely crazy. And they're going to get Romeo Lavia as well, just to say. So that any hope of getting Romeo Lavia this season is gone. Apparently he's going to go to Chelsea. They've agreed a deal for both Lavia and Caicedo. Absolutely crazy. It really, really is. Somebody in the chat says, who is your favourite player? My favourite player is Garnacho, 100%. He's the player who excites me the most out of everyone at Manchester United. But let me know in the comment section, who is your favourite player at Manchester United? It has to be Garnacho for me. I think he's an absolutely unbelievable player. And I think he's going to go on to be a very, very special person. I really, really do. Where are we? Right, I'm going to read out a couple of your questions quickly. Yeah, so we spoke about Brandon Williams. Somebody's talking about Pavard. Yeah, Pavard, if you just rewind back to the beginning. What I did want to ask you, actually, is if Anthony Martial goes, who do you think would be a good replacement for him? Would you like to see Taremi from Porto? Would you like to see, Jonathan David? Let me know in the comment section, because I always like to see you guys' opinions. And if anybody missed the video we did on it yesterday, do go and check it out on the channel. When we did a kind of deep dive into the different options that we thought would be available at this moment in time. Right. You know what? I'm going to wrap the video up there, guys. We've gone through all of our news for today. We will be live quite a lot today. Obviously, we're doing the watch along. We will be live again in the afternoon, and there will be other videos going up on the channel. Thank you so much to everybody for watching this morning. It's been a really, really good stream. I will be back, of course, later for the Manchester United versus Wolves watch along. We'll be live from about 7:30, so do get involved if you are around. I hope everyone has a really, really nice day, whatever you've got planned. Please do smash a like on the video before you go, and please do subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys later on. Peace out.